So I was sitting there for 6 months, didn't know what I was going to do, and the phone rings. It's a guy by the name of Ron Chapman, who has the #1 morning show in North Texas and the largest billing radio show in the United States. He said, "Suze, what are you doing now? When you're where I was, you don't tell. You say things like, 'Oh, I'm looking at several possibilities,' which means the phone ain't ringing." He said, "We hope you're not too busy to do something." I said, "Do what?" He said, "Jack Shell, our traffic reporter in the helicopter, is going on vacation. We thought it'd be interesting for you to do the traffic reports." I said, "The traffic reports in a helicopter? I had my own TV show." He said, "I know." I said, "How much does it pay?" He told me. I said, "Yeah, I can be a traffic reporter in a helicopter." He said, "Great. Show up at North Park Inn, 6 o'clock Monday morning, ready to go to work." Now listen, I hadn't thought that long about what a traffic reporter does. First of all, a traffic reporter has to know where he is. And I want to ask just you women, and this isn't chauvinistic or anything, but I'm going to tell you right up front, I believe when it's all said and done, we women just operate on a different track. And proud of it, because it sure is fun. How many of you women ever really have the need to use the terms north, south, east, or west in your vocabularies? If someone asks you where the bank is, doesn't left do it for you? I didn't know north. North to me was like algebra. And I knew when I took that stuff I was never going to need it. You can't tell people to turn left if you're a traffic reporter in a helicopter. Well, they're coming from different directions. They'll crash into each other. So I showed up at North Park Inn, 6 o'clock Monday morning, ready to get into my first time, ever time, see up close, touch, feel helicopter to be a traffic reporter. This fabulous man walks up to me. He's 6'3", steel gray hair. He said, "Suze, I'm your pilot, Ken Montgomery. Do you know about the equipment?" I said, "What equipment?" He said, "I'm busy flying the machine. You have to operate the radio equipment." I said, "Well, I don't know how to operate any radio equipment." He said, "Oh, it's real simple. I'll check you out. Put this headset on." I put this headset on, had 2 big earphones right here, had a microphone right here. He said, "Put these buttons in this hand, these buttons in this hand, and listen up. When you want to talk to Ron Chapman, who's at the radio station, and you're in the helicopter, and you talk to him, but he talks to you, but nobody else can hear the two of you, that is called the two-way radio. Press this button, talk into this microphone, you'll hear him in this ear. If you want to talk all over the radio so everybody listening to the radio hears you, don't get ahead of me." So everybody listening to the radio hears you on the radio. You press this button, talking to this microphone, comes in this ear. If you want to monitor love field, the air traffic controllers, press this button, you'll hear them in here. If you want to talk to me because the noise and vibration is so loud and shaky, you have to communicate by headset and microphone. You press this button, talking to this microphone, comes in this ear. Got it? Got it. We take off. I want to tell you what happens to you in your job in life as a traffic reporter. You get sick in the head because you pray for a wreck. Well, think about it. If there's no wreck, what are you going to talk about? Second thing you do, and it's your first time to get in a helicopter, you say, "I want to fly by my house." You fly by Frank's house, you see the yard and the dog, and then you hear this voice in your ear that says, "Good morning, Suze. Do you have anything?" And it's Ron. Have anything? I didn't even know where I was. Because when you go up in a helicopter the first time and you look down, you don't recognize anything down there. It looks just like a bunch of ants. Did I have anything? No, and if I did, what would I do with it? I screamed, "Not yet." Because you screamed it into the microphone. It was so loud up there. He said, "Get back with me when you have something." 45 minutes goes by. I haven't even signed on the radio. He was now getting real testy. He said, "Do you have anything yet?" I went, We're almost on it, and I'm stalling. You know how you stall? Yeah, you do. We all do, thinking if we just had a little more time, some miracle's going to bail us out. And then all of a sudden, and I don't know why to this day, I happened to look out of the left-hand side of that window when I did, but I did, and I saw it. I saw it. I got so excited that I found something that instead of pressing the button that went just to him to tell him I had something, I pressed the button that went all over the radio while he was playing Engelbert Humperdinck. And this is what Dallas-Fort Worth heard on that Monday morning. I found one. The record went, Ron, who acts like everything is his plan, said, yes, Suzie Humphreys in the KVI helicopter found one what? A wreck. He said, no, we don't refer to them as wrecks at this radio station. We say accident. I went, this one is a wreck. He said, all right, where is it? Well, it's across from a little brick house down the street from a Texaco service station. He said, please, this is a big-time radio station. We need you to be specific. I said, listen, if you're in it, you know where it is. If you're not, you don't care. It was awful. People that heard it swear to this day it's the worst thing they ever heard on the radio. It was so bad, a nice little man pulled off Central Expressway, pulled into a 7-Eleven, popped a quarter in the payphone, called Ron and said, Ron, is she for real? And then he said, why, that is the funniest thing I ever heard. And you know, the phone started ringing off the wall. People started calling in all morning saying, oh, have her on again. All over Dallas-Fort Worth, men were sitting in their cars saying, dear God, that's my wife up there. So for 2 weeks, I did the traffic reports at KVIL. And then as fate would have it, the real traffic reporter decided not to come back to work at the station. And the job of traffic reporter was open. And Ron asked me to be the traffic reporter. And guess what? More money working an hour and 50 minutes a day, 5 days a week, than I made working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 6 and 7 days a week on TV. And my life was coming up. Well, isn't that what it does? It comes up. You get knocked down, it comes up. Always has. Did we forget? It always does. I had a respectable job. I was back in circulation. I could get myself a nice efficiency apartment and start over. And boy, don't you think that efficiency apartment didn't look good to me, because you see, starting over just isn't half bad, you know, because when you start over, you get your eyeballs back down to ground level where they belong.